All systems, I believe, are go.
Hello and welcome back to the most mildly entertaining podcast in human history.
Mildly entertaining.
I'm more of a mild than a buffalo guy.
That's fair. That's fair. I've been trying to work my way up. I'm at medium now. Is where
I love a good medium.
Yeah.
We have a very exciting week this week.
We do. I'm just tired.
Is it actually another double header, or is it one and then the other one's getting taken out and put into a different episode?
For the movies. I haven't decided yet.
Okay.
I might. I very well might take one of them out, couple it with the World Cup preview, because that's a solid episode right there. Boom, boom. Because that's also already edited. So it's just waiting to be. I was originally going to, on Thursday, record a WBC update and then couple them together and put it out to put something out, and then that just didn't happen. So, but speaking of the WBC, oh my fucking god, what?
Japan lost. Yay. Continue to lose. Japan
lost in the quarterfinals. Italy is somehow in the semifinals. The U.S. did not go undefeated. The U.S. made it out of the semifinals by a bad ump call.
Semifinals or quarterfinals? You said they made it out of the semifinals. We're not already at the finals, are we?
There is one more semifinal match tonight, and then
okay, so we won the semifinal. Us beating the Dominican Republic?
Yes.
That was a semi. Oh, okay. I thought that was a quarter.
No, our quarterfinal matchup was against Canada.
And we whooped that ass?
Yeah.
Yeah. If the ball's in the air, they don't know what to do with it. If it's on the ground and it's slick like ice, they're pretty nice.
And we beat them doing that, too.
And I guess they ain't that nice. This is where they beat us 12-0 in the World Cup.
You make a compelling argument. Are we in the same group, or aren't we in different groups?
Yeah, we're in different groups.
So we have to make it out of the group stage for that to even happen. So we'll see.
Don't say that. Don't be like that.
The games were good, though. Kind of.
That's what I've heard.
The what do we call it? The finals tournament, I guess. The second stage, the knockout stage, not the round stage. They've all been pretty insane. I would say the most boring one was probably U.S. and Canada. It kind of had the foregone conclusion and went like it did. Italy and Puerto Rico was interesting just because why are either of these guys here? Italy going and still being undefeated in this year's tournament. And they have their match with Venezuela, I think tonight as we're speaking. And Venezuela beating Japan. Oh my god.
Here we go.
I had come home from work Saturday night, and I just looked at my phone because I hadn't checked the score and I wasn't watching it at work. I only been consciously watching the U.S. games just because it's hard to make it happen when I'm at work, or in the city of Philadelphia. Apparently that's a hard ask. I don't know. Didn't know why, but... And I just look at my phone and I see bottom of the ninth, Venezuela up by however many. I'm like, what? And I get up and I change the TV to Fox to pull it up. And it's oh my god, Japan is going to lose in the quarterfinals. So no Japan. We're not getting the final of U.S. versus Japan. It can't happen.
Good.
I'm okay with it.
I'm more than okay with it.
I'm just shocked. And then Dominican Republic and U.S. apparently had the greatest baseball game in history last night, which sounds correct. And it came down to a bad ump call. A bad ump call.
That's crazy. I hate when that happens.
It is crazy.
I hate when the officials decide a game. That's the worst feeling in sports.
Overall, this World Baseball Classic has been really well, but it's also been a great... What's the word? It showed really well why the MLB is moving to this ABS system.
Okay.
Because the umps have been not great throughout the World Baseball Classic. So, the ending of that game last night most likely goes differently if we have the ABS system, assuming that Dominican Republic doesn't use both their challenges, tap on the helmet, go to the review, it's a ball, and then that would have been a walk because it was full count. at the time. So, but U.S. moves on. They'll meet either Italy or Venezuela. I think I'm okay with either option. I think part of me wants an Italy-U.S. rematch, but I couldn't possibly be upset with Venezuela moving on to the finals.
Venezuela.
It just isn't. It isn't in my DNA to be upset at that.
You know what? It's not my DNA either, man.
There you go. What else are we talking about?
I don't know. We have a bunch of stuff.
Oh, so while I was in a bar in Philly, which is not a place I'm at often, I saw a sports headline. And I saw a headline on a TikTok, because I follow approximately one American gridiron football creator, because his videos are funny. And he had made something about this trade happening. And then I didn't look into this, but when I'm at the bar on, what was that, last Tuesday? That was almost a week ago. I saw the headline pop up on the bottom of the screen, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I would have texted you, but I wanted you to tell me on the live mic.
Because we're potting.
What's up with the Ravens?
We are professionals.
Yeah, what's up with the Ravens, and what's this guy's name?
So, the entirety of the NFL is upset with the Ravens. There isn't a single person who isn't upset with the Ravens. I think even Ravens fans are maybe even a little upset with the Ravens. So what happened was, right before the legal tampering period, which is where you can talk to players and set up deals before free agency actually starts, the Ravens had made a deal with the Raiders for Max Crosby. It was 2 first-round picks. It was this year and next year. And yeah, the trade would go through. Every trade goes through the same thing. You decide on what you're going to pay. The other team has to accept. It goes through. The player comes over. Regular paperwork gets done. Physical gets done. And then it's done. You sign off on it. You send it to the league. And everything's good. So it had come out that they had agreed on a price, which was the 2 first-round picks. And Max Crosby was going to be a Raven. All the Photoshops got done of him in the Ravens jersey. Everything. And then, a couple days into the tampering period, comes out that the Raiders just put up on their social media, the Ravens have backed out of the deal for Max Crosby. There will be no further comment at this time. And the internet exploded. Now, this can happen. And it has happened before. We saw it in the NBA just last year, where the Lakers and the Hornets made a trade for Mark Williams, and Mark Williams came to the Lakers, and they sent Dalton Connect and I want to say another player and maybe a pick to the Hornets for Mark Williams. And then the trade got reversed because Mark Williams failed a physical. What the Ravens have said is that Max Crosby failed a physical and they reversed the trade because of that. The thing is, everybody on the planet, except for you, knew that Max Crosby was going to fail a physical because he had a season-ending injury in his knee. He had he had an ACL tear. I'm almost positive it was an ACL tear. And he got reconstructive surgery, and he's in recovery. He was going to fail his physical no matter what. So, whatever team he was going to go to, whatever they traded, when Crosby got there, he was going to fail a physical. Now, a player can fail a physical, it doesn't automatically void a trade. You can still take that player on. Because, like, in certain situations, like, if somebody had reconstructive surgery, you know they're not going to pass a physical. But you're still going to take that player. So, what I have theorized, and I have now started to see some reports come out to back this theory, is that there were 2 premier pass rushers that were going to move this offseason. It was going to be Max Crosby, because he requested a trade from the Raiders. Wasn't a free agent, he was just a trade guy. And Trey Hendrickson, that the Bengals had a couple weeks ago said they're not going to franchise tag him and they're not going to give him a contract. 2 very good pass rushers. Trey Hendrickson is not the level of player that Max Crosby is. Max Crosby, there's probably 2 edge rushers in the league that are better than him. I would say Myles Garrett and probably Nick Bosa. Max Crosby, and some people really like T.J. Watt. I think Crosby's better than T.J. Watt. Just my opinion. But he's like you could even make an argument that he's better than Nick Bosa, because Bosa's not on the field all the time. But Crosby also has injury problems. My personal opinion, I think Max Crosby is better than Nick Bosa, but that's not the majority opinion. So I digress on that. Trey Hendrickson, there's probably, including with all four of those guys I just named, plus maybe like Will Anderson Jr., Brian Burns. There's like a handful of 7 or 8 guys that might be better than Trey Hendrickson. But still, to be a top 10 edge rusher in the league is very good. What happened is that when free agency started, the tampering period started, Trey Hendrickson had nobody. It wasn't on a team, so he was a free agent. You could offer him a contract. And apparently the offers that were being put out for him, he did not have the market that the greater sporting world thought he would have. And then the Ravens looked at, they just gave up 2 first-round picks for a guy that is better, but they now had to pay him what his contract is, which is one of the biggest contracts in the league. And they had no first-round pick for the next 2 years, and they had the 14th or 16th pick this year, which is, for the Ravens, probably the best pick they would have had in a decade. To give up both of those pieces, and a first next year, given you're hoping to be better next year with Crosby, so it'll be in the 20s, maybe even in the 30s, say they really figure it out, they make it to a championship game. They're either 29, 30, 31, or 32. They looked at that and said, well, I could pay Hendrickson less, and I don't have to give up 2 first-round picks. He failed a physical, he's got to go home. And the sporting world went crazy, because now what the problem is that the Raiders have... was going to lead into my greater free agency spiel. Free agency hasn't moved me this much this year. I haven't looked at any of the teams that have made everybody making signings and been like, oh, that team is exponentially better with what they brought in. Like, everybody just feels like they replaced some players, maybe got better at some spots, lost some value in some other spots. Like, the Super Bowl champ lost a bunch of players because they're Super Bowl champs now, and now a bunch of those guys that were up for contract got paid to go other places, like poor Seattle. They retained a couple of guys. They retained the one guy that I think is very, very good. They retained Rashid Shaheed. But they traded the Super Bowl MVP. They traded him to the Chiefs. But the one team I would say got exponentially better was the Oakland Raiders. Not the Oakland Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders. Because they didn't have to keep paying Max Crosby. Got that contract off their books. So that opened up a bunch of money for them. And they spent it. And now he's back. So now the Raiders... And I feel so bad for Raiders because they never make the right decision. Like, historically, they never make good decisions. But it finally felt like, oh my God, they're figuring it out. They're doing it right. They're getting good players. I feel confident in almost everybody they brought in. But now, and they had two first-round picks. They had an extra first-round pick this year and next year that they could use to build, because they have the number 1 this year, to get this quarterback in. Then they would have 16 to go get, most likely, a receiver. And then next year you have 2 first-round picks, because I don't think the Raiders would be that much better with first-year Mendoza. Maybe they do. I wouldn't be shocked if they ended up in the middle of the draft next year.
Yeah.
I think, and I wouldn't even be shocked if they were like a first-round playoff team. If they got a wild card spot, I wouldn't be shocked by that. Because I think this quarterback is really good. And I think that with everything they brought in, they are built to be a good team. But now they've lost those extra 2 first-round picks. Max Crosby is back. You now have to trade Crosby somewhere else because you've already spent all the money. The money is gone that you had to pay him. So he has to go somewhere. So now you have absolutely no leverage because everybody in the league knows you have to trade Max Crosby. I wouldn't be shocked if they went from getting 2 first-round picks to getting none. And this is good news for me because there's a team that needs an edge rusher that I believe has the cap space to get that done. If the Bears got Max Crosby, I'd lose my mind. I don't think we will, because I don't think that's something that our GM wants to do. And for the first time, I can say I can't blame him, because it's a lot to pay a guy. I understand it's the most expensive spot in football, but we do have another edge rusher that's making a decent amount of money. Montez Sweat makes a decent amount of money. That also being said, we have no pressure off the edge. So we need something. And we haven't done it yet. Like, we've got nobody in free agency that moves me as an edge rusher. Now, do we address that in the draft? I don't know what good edge rushers there at in the 20s. Maybe somebody falls. Maybe we move up. I don't know. But Max Crosby is going to be on somebody's team that probably won't be the Raiders.
So what even happens in, like, maybe I'm green around the ears when it comes to the intricacies of American football.
Okay.
Obviously, I know the salary cap.
Yeah.
And I know cap space, and I know what all that means. What would even happen to the Raiders otherwise? Because I assume, like you say, they thought they traded Crosby away. It freed up cap space. They spent the money. So now with his contract, I assume they're above cap.
Yeah.
What would even if no one takes a deal, what would even...
Actually, I don't know. It's never... Because you can't... I think you literally can't go into the season like that. Like, you just have to cut players. Like, teams do it all the time where they take dead cap. So, like, you can go into a season with negative cap space as long as it's dead cap. Because if you cut that player, you pay him his guaranteed money of whatever's left on that contract. But now that cap space is dead. You can't do anything with it. But it won't, I guess it technically doesn't really have you over. But, like, when you're over the cap, like, you can't make a trade. Well, I guess you can, but, like, it's a lot of money talk that's very intricate that GMs get paid millions of dollars to understand. But from what I understand, like, dead cap doesn't hold you from doing anything, but you can't have, like, actively be over the cap with players that you have on your roster.
It makes sense.
It's like the NBA, you just pay the luxury tax fine. But in the I've never heard of that in the NFL. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm also not that versed in the front office stuff. I would assume you have to cut players, or you have to get back under the cap to function. But I don't know. I'm not 100%.
The dead cap thing makes sense.
Yeah.
Because if you cut players, you're not getting the benefit of spending over the cap, because you're just... I don't know if they have a luxury tax. That's how MLB works.
Maybe they do, and nobody talks about it. But I've been watching football for 26 years. I've never heard anybody mention the luxury tax in the NFL.
And I'm going to tell you right now, it shit don't work.
It doesn't matter. In the NBA, it works because like owners are like stingy. The NBA has changed some things in the last couple of years to make it like ridiculous. Like, there's 2 aprons now. There's like the base luxury tax, and then there's like the high-end luxury tax. If you're in the high-end, like, you can't... There's like certain things you are like not allowed to do. Like, you're not allowed to make trades. You can't trade a player for multiple players. It has to be 1-for-1s, and that's it. And you can't trade a player for picks. Like, you have to trade players, player for player. It's like crazy. Like, it's ridiculous. You can't offer supermaxes anymore. It's a whole thing.
Last season, the Los Angeles Dodgers, paid more...
Won the championship.
They did do that. They paid more in luxury tax than some teams' entire payroll.
Salary. Yeah.
Now that's one of the ones where it's like, that's a ridiculous stat. It's also kind of the fault of those lower teams for not paying a little bit more. But also, like, that's how...
That's why you got to take that and put it against the average. Yeah. What does the average MLB team use? And then look at the stat.
Yeah.
Because the Bengals would fuck it up for everybody. I can't stand the Bengals. But,
we like their players, though.
Yeah, I like some of their players. They got some cool players.
Yeah.
Yeah, free agency, like, I don't think has really been that wild. Nothing too crazy. Geno Smith is back with the Jets after they drafted him over a decade ago. Maybe he'll be better in his first stint than his last stint, in his next stint than his last stint. I don't know. Nothing really crazy. Nothing. No like monumental moves. A bunch of re-signings. Some people will say there will been some overpays. My dad should be happy. I think the Commanders have had a really good off season. People have said that they have the overpay of the window with Odafe Owe. I just think that guy's good, and edge rusher is at a premium. And if you want to get a decent pass rusher, they paid to get a decent pass rusher. That's what you pay now. So I like the Bears' moves. The one guy I wanted to come be a Bear ended up being a Philadelphia Eagle, so that upsets me immensely. I really wanted Tariq Woolen just because he's 6'4" and fast as hell, and he's a corner, and I love him. One of my favorite players. But the Eagles got him on a 1 year, and I'm sure he'll be good with the Eagles in this 1 year, and then the Bears will pay him 4 years, $136 million, and then he will be bad for us for 3 of those 4 years. He'll actually be bad all 4. But I'll cope that the first year was him betting in and he actually wasn't that bad. But then he'll be that same level of bad the next 3 years. And then I'll be like, why did we do this? I hate him. And then he'll no longer be one of my favorite players. But, yeah, I'm not really moved by a lot of stuff that happened in free agency. The Max Crosby thing was crazy. And that's about it. Mike Evans went to the 49ers. One of the most injury-prone receivers in the game went to the most injury-prone team in the league. So that's a match made in heaven. He'll play 6 games. And nothing else really crazy. Tyler Linderbaum got a massive contract for the Raiders. But he's probably the best center in football, so makes enough sense. Or one of, because people like Creed Humphrey's very good, but Linderbaum, I think, is on that same level. Maybe not as consistent. What are you looking at?
I was going to go on a small tangent about our players that are in the World Baseball Classic, what their stats are looking like going into because we're about done with the World Baseball Classic, and that's kind of the best, because like spring training numbers matter, but like they don't matter. But no one will pull up. No one seems to have correct compiled stats outside of like the ones that are doing really good. So like it's good for me to like look straight in the camera and be like, yeah, Kyle Schwarber's batting over 300. But like it doesn't show me Bryce Harper's numbers because they're not very good.
Okay.
But like,
so you just gotta wait till it ends.
Yeah, but running numbers are always good. Kyle Schwarber's doing well at the plate. Bryce Harper is not. Bryce Harper defensively has looked fine. It's a whole thing. That was also part of like our loss to Team Italy was Harper wasn't playing. Someone else, maybe it was PCA. PCA wasn't playing. Cal Raleigh wasn't playing, and it's just like, why? We're not guaranteed our spot. So I was incorrect the one day after the loss to Italy. We needed specific things to happen with Italy and Mexico, and then it was being pitched by Aaron Nola. The entire country got the Phillies experience. It was wonderful. But Aaron Nola would look like prime Aaron Nola during that game, so like, fuck, all right, why not? Team Italy is the memeiest team to ever exist. Having espresso shots after home runs, literally hitting the plate. Sports are great.
Yeah, let's move away from sports.
Didn't one of our guys leave? One of the Eagles guys leave? Blankenship? Did he?
Yeah, who cares? He went to the Texans. I understand it broke up the exciting whites. Dallas Goedert is coming back. They came out either last night or this morning.
Okay.
I really thought Dallas Goedert would leave. I also didn't realize Dallas Goedert's 31. He does not feel 31 to me. I would have, if you would have asked me a week ago, how old is Dallas Goedert, I would have said he's 28. He's 31, so he's probably going to be on the downturn. And I've been saying this for years. Dallas Goedert's going to leave. There's no way he stays because he wants to get one more contract, but I also thought he was younger.
Yeah.
He just doesn't get used. For the longest time, it was Travis Kelsey, and George Kittle are the 2 best tight ends in the league. I always thought Goddard was the clear third. Like, there's them 2 on their little stratosphere. Then I thought Goddard was like a step down. And then there was a big drop off to the next guy. Because I was never a big Darren Waller fan. And now, obviously, it's changed because we have a bunch of young guys that are really good with Laporta. And I think Trey McBride's very good. Like, the conversation was TJ Hawkinson. There was never, ever a day in my life that I thought TJ Hawkinson was ever better than Dallas Goedert. That's my personal opinion. But, yeah, no. He's back on a 1 year. Reed Blankenship is going to go to the Texans, and I would be very confident to say people will see how good Reed Blankenship is not in that Eagles defense. Now, I'm not going to disparage anybody, but you can take what I said from what I said.
Go Birds, dickhead.
Yeah, go Birds, dickhead.
Do you have anything besides the movies? Anything else?
I don't. I had all that. Pokemon's been fun.
You haven't been playing Pokemon. Why are you saying Pokemon's been fun?
I have been.
What have you been playing?
I've been playing Pokemon Evolved. It's a ROM hack. It's good Pokemon. It's so good.
Game.
Very, very fun.
I've been looking at ROM hacks recently, and I think...
Should we get into them?
I think I know why they don't continue my attention past a certain point. And it's not that they're not good. They're pretty good. I like playing Pokemon on my handheld device. If I could somehow put a ROM hack on the Switch, I think I'm good to go.
But you don't want to play it on your phone.
It just doesn't, because like I ended up stopped playing whichever Gen 5 game I was playing. I'm still stopped in the middle of that. And I think literally because I haven't had that stall with Leaf Green, I think it literally is just that. The idea I want to be holding, even if it like a DS or a Switch.
What if I got you a controller thing for your phone?
It still is just my phone, because then I swipe away and I end up doing something else. So I'm sure there's a way, and I might even end up just putting them on a DS and then going for it.
You're hating.
I'm sure the games are great. I know the games are great.
Okay,
I've seen some of the stuff from what's the Emerald ROM hack that everyone was
Emerald
talking
Kaizo?
about? Maybe. I don't remember.
Or there's another Emerald one that's like recent that's like really good.
Yeah.
Equilibrium? There's something. I think I know what you're talking. One of those two, and they're amazing.
Yeah, so it's just, but it comes down to that little thing. And that's a me thing. That's totally a me thing.
I know it's a you thing.
But, yeah.
I saw everybody playing Fire Red and Leaf Green, so I just played a Leaf Green ROM hack. That's basically what happened.
That's fair. I'm enjoying Leaf Green.
I'm playing Pokemon Evolved that just adds 3 evolutions to every Pokemon in the original 151. It's peak.
Yeah, sure.
Bro, it's so good. It condenses all the like evolution levels, so it feels more natural as you go throughout the game. You're like still evolving at like level 60 some. You get Charizard at level 30. I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
When do you normally get Charizard?
36.
Okay. I thought it was in the 30s. That's why I was like, I don't think that's that different.
It was 6 levels.
Yeah. 36 makes sense. So, the movies.
Yes, the movies.
We're just going to talk as if we doubled up, and then if all of a sudden Thor the Dark World is not on this episode, it's because I cut it and put it on the next one. But it's probably going to be here.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I forgot. I watched those out of order because I did a double header. And I was like, I don't want to watch Dark World. I don't want to end on Dark World. So I watched Iron Man 3 second.
That's fair, I guess. Iron Man 3 does go first, though.
It does.
And while talking about the movies together, while I do think one of them is definitely better than the other, I feel so apathetic about both of them.
Really?
Yeah. They just don't...
We're going to disagree this week.
Oh, okay. I still think, like, one is clearly better than the other, I think.
We're going to disagree this week.
Oh. Okay. This will be fun.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm a little scared now.
I have to be honest to how I feel, man.
But let's roll the projector sound. Iron Man 3 first. Let's go. And copyright strike.
No, it's not. I was coughing.
So, Iron Man 3.
Peak!
It exists.
I love this movie.
It happens.
I love it.
It's an alright little movie.
I love it. It's so much better than Iron Man 2. It's so much better than Iron Man 2.
Well, yeah.
Oh my
Iron
God.
Man 2 is bad.
Oh my God, it's so much better than Iron Man 2. Because when you were like, I'm worried about Iron Man 3, I'm like, I really like that movie. I'm really scared. I'm going to be like, ugh. Because I completely flopped on Thor. Now I'm starting to think in the inverse, like, what if there are movies I thought are really good that I'm like, oh no, this movie's bad.
Yeah. We sat down, we watched it. And I'm sitting there and watching the movie. And we're about halfway through and I was like, this isn't a bad movie. It's just something is not connecting. It doesn't give me the excitement that Marvel movies tend to. And, like, even some bad movies give me that kind of, like, excitement. And, like, some of the one-liners are good, and the story is fine, and, like, the complaints that people lobby at it, I think don't matter. Like, there's one of the complaints is that, it's Tony Stark 3, not Iron Man 3. That doesn't bother me. I like watching Tony be a scientist and do stuff.
I think one of the other complaints is in the movie where people complain that why does the 12-year-old remind Tony Stark that he can make things? Like, I think part of that movie that is so interesting and good is watching Tony have the over-reliance on the armors as to why he's made a cajillion of them, and then him kind of having that come-to-Jesus moment of, oh yeah, I am just an inventor, I don't need the suit to be amazing, I am Tony Stark. Which I think is actually a plus for the movie, not a minus. But maybe that's just me. But I really like oh yeah, I can just make stuff and go be a badass. Because I am just Tony Stark, I forgot.
I think that complaint is that Tony's in a spiraling PTSD panic attack, and that just doesn't tend to be how that works when you get out of him. You just say, well, why don't you just make something? And then he's magically better. But
we also see that he's not... I understand in the confines, and that's what I have to think, in the confines of this movie, that is what it looks like.
Yeah.
But knowing the next movies that come on, we know that isn't true. He still has the nightmares with in the space and all the people dead, especially in Age of Ultron, where the fuck she puts the thing in his brain, and we get to see that it's still very much there. That's still his biggest fear. So... But yeah, I guess I understand that. And in the confines of this film.
I'll even go with you that if you take that little thing out, I like the panic attacks. I think the panic attacks are a really smart way to show a character change. The scene where he's having the nightmare in bed and Pepper tries to wake him up and the armor grabs her arm and throws it. Like, it's genuinely terrifying as hell. And it's extremely effective. And then the Mandarin stuff doesn't bother me this time around. I'm deeply okay with it. It makes sense to me. I don't...
Wonder Man has done
that's
great things.
Knowing that this character goes on to not just kind of be redempted in a comic accuracy way, but in like an actual, this character, Trevor Slattery, goes on to do all of these things.
It's not a one-off stupid...
Yeah.
Which talks in another movie that we'll talk about.
You'll never see me coming.
That voice is so good.
Of course it's good. It's Ben Kingsley.
He's peak! Killian's a little dry.
I just don't know where my problem... Because I don't think Killian is that dry. I think he's pretty alright. I think the girl... What's her name? Maya? Is it Maya?
Yeah.
Maya something. She doesn't do much for me.
I don't think she's supposed to, though.
I also don't think Happy does a lot for me.
He's also only in the first 15 minutes.
Yeah, but I feel like he's supposed to do a lot for me, so that way when he's in the coma, I care, and I just don't...
Oh, okay. I get what you're saying. Like, Happy was also just a non-factor for me in this movie.
Bam, he's a non-factor.
Yeah. I don't think that's that big a deal, I would say.
Like, I don't know. It just... Here's an issue. Here's an actual issue I can... throw at this movie, and this is a writing issue. And this is, I think, where it's going to be for me, is I think a lot of the performances in the movie are solid to good. I don't think anyone really gives a bad performance. We didn't talk about Don Cheadle yet. Don Cheadle's funny as hell.
Always.
The effects are pretty solid. I just think that, like, the screenplay is weak. Like, it's not a bad screenplay or story, but I think it's just not, like, great or maybe even good. I think the overall story just kind of falls
The
through.
movie just continues to move on.
Yeah.
Nothing ever feels like it's pushing. The plot never feels like it's running. I just kind of feel like we had a bunch of scenes, we put everything together.
Yeah.
It almost feels like if like you put a TV show, you just put like 5 episodes of a TV show together and put that out. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think you're kind of picking up what I'm putting down. And like, here's something. Here's a legitimate something. Here's something that I can physically say, tangibly say, I did not like about this movie that this movie did. I don't like that I don't get to figure out the plot alongside of Tony. We know that the Mandarin... We might not know that he's being used as a cover-up, but we know that the Mandarin has to do with AIM and that his explosions are the people going haywire. Before Tony even starts to figure it out.
I didn't remember that until this movie, and because I've been sitting here listening to you, like, the problem, and I'm like, I don't know if I have a problem with the movie. And you say that, I'm like, I do remember, like, when we were watching, I'm like, I don't remember we just knew Killian was the bad guy before Tony knew Killian was the bad guy.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, you kind of figure... I feel like it's very obvious after the flashback where Killian is, like, all crippled, and then the next time we see him, he's very hot talking to Pepper, which is like, okay, so something happened to this guy. He's probably bad.
We know he's going to be an issue.
Yeah, but... Yeah, no, you hit that spot on. I don't like that we know everything before Tony does.
Yeah, like the guy goes off the Chinese theater and injures Happy, and then the Mandarin takes credit for it. And we know that he had something to do with Killian because his goon is the one that made him go off. So it's literally like you've given us this connection that Tony doesn't have. And then you give us a scene where Tony begins to figure... It's a really good scene, I think, where Tony starts to figure it out, but I already have the answer, and it takes the stake out of that for me.
Yeah.
Like,
It's so funny, because they do the same thing with Stain. In the first movie. It's like, it kind of parallels that, but we don't know Stain's bad until on the carpet when he's selling the weapons to the guys, and then he whispers in Tony's ear, I was the one who started the vote to get you out. And then we're like, oh, so Obadiah is not with Tony, and then they give us a scene with him and the Ten Rings guy.
Yeah, they start to.
Yeah, they start to show, like, and it's like they did the opposite of that in this.
They don't give us that. They don't give us that moment to at least. I don't know. It just doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
And I feel like that's a big part of this movie. It's why he goes to Tennessee. It's why we end up with Harley and all that stuff happening. I'm just like, I already know the answer to this. Like, I guess I'll be happy to watch Tony figure it out, but this would have been more
because the guy who works with Killian is there when the guy blows up in Chinatown. Yeah,
he gives him his hit for him to lose control, and it just
it's very very disjointed. Because then Maya shows up right after that at his house, going to tell him that Killian's evil. So,
yeah.
I guess that doesn't make much sense, but I'm in love with Robert Downey Jr. and he cooks in this movie like he does in every movie.
Well, yeah. Like the performances are good.
Yeah.
I know Hannah enjoyed parts of this movie a lot. Big laughs, and this gets big laughs every time. And it's funny because I forget that this happens in this movie until I'm watching it. I think of different one-liners from this movie. Obviously, I think of Mandarin stuff. I think of Don Cheadle's nonsense. What's a good Tony Stark line that isn't the one I'm thinking of that is really good from earlier in the movie? Oh, the scene where he tries out the Mark 42 for the first time and it comes on. The scene with him and Pepper where Pepper comes home and the Ironman suit is on the couch and he's not even in the suit. That entire scene. But the one that I forget that is always my biggest laugh in this movie is when Harley tries to guilt Tony.
Oh, yeah. Garen died when we were watching that.
We're connected. It gets her and then Tony's like,
so cold.
So cold.
No, because we're connected. And he peels off. It was worth a try. Oh, yeah.
And that kid is never heard from again.
Yeah. You were supposed to hit the panic button. Well, I panicked, but then I handled it. I fucking love Ben Kingsley in this movie. I'm an actor.
Would they pay you? How'd they convince drugs? Lots of drugs.
Well, I was on substances. They said they'd get you off. They said they'd give me more. He's so good. I am so upset that we hated that as... I understand why we did, but I'm upset that we hated it. We didn't appreciate it longer.
I'm glad we can appreciate it now.
Yeah, I'm glad that Shang-Chi brought him back.
I'm glad that Wonder Man did something good with him.
Yes. But without Shang-Chi, there's no Wonder Man.
The plot is relevant. He doesn't do much for me in Shang-Chi.
No, I agree. But he comes back and he's not vehemently hated like he is when Iron Man 3 came out. So without him kind of being fun in Shang-Chi, whether you like him or not, he's at least there and does things and is relevant. Then we get Wonder Man where he's amazing.
It's fair. I'm going to have opinions on that movie. So, Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 3.
It happened.
It did. Are we going into ratings?
We can. I feel like there's so much we didn't talk about.
But
Mark 42 keeps falling apart. House Party Protocol.
The final fight is CGI bullshit, but it's fun.
It's fun. I do kind of like the House Party Protocol. Yeah. I love I was listening to a podcast where they talk about these movies, and I've been re-going through their backlog with this, and they talk about how much they hate the... Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
They hate the joke of the Mark 42 keeps falling apart, and, I just really like that joke throughout this movie.
Is that not the fucking point?
I love the scene, the airplane scene with the Mark 42, and then it gets hit by a truck, and it's a twist showing that Toady isn't in it. I love, near the end of the House Party Protocol fight, he needs a suit, no suits are around, and then Jarvis, Mark 42 is entering the area. He's like, the prodigal son returns. And comes in and then falls apart. I like all of the different suits. I like Tony's mental state in this movie. I don't like it, but I like
it.
It ties together well with everything else he does for the rest of the MCU, despite not having a proper Iron Man 4.
It's fine.
It's okay.
Having no Iron Man 4?
Yeah.
I'm happy with it.
It would have been nice, but I don't think it suffers that we don't.
Yeah.
I
trade in Ant-Man 2 for Iron Man 4.
Oh yeah, I trade Ant-Man 2 for a good sandwich.
Yes. Iron Man 3. Ratings. I'm coming to you first.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta go first?
Yep.
Can you go first and I do Thor first?
Why? Why do you want to do Thor first?
Because I am more curious about your rating for Iron Man 3 than I am for Thor. Not that I
really?
don't care about your opinion,
okay.
But I think my rating for Thor is pretty set in stone.
Oh, okay. But you've kind of swayed me here, because I had this movie better.
If you got it high,
I had it high, but then when you made the point where we made the point together of the plot being disjointed and the movie kind of just happens, that kind of brings me down because I'm a RDJ lover, so I have to take that out of it and just look at the movie.
And RDJ, I've said it before, RDJ is not the problem with this movie. I don't think any of the cast is really the problem with this movie. I think this is a writing thing. And the movie just also doesn't give me that Marvel feeling. I watch a lot of these movies and I get this kind of excited inspiration kind of thing that almost every movie, even the bad ones, give me to some extent. And this movie and the next one we're going to talk about just don't give me that. I just don't feel it. And I don't know why I don't feel it, but I don't feel it, and that affects it for me a lot.
I'm going to give Iron Man 3 a 7.6.
Okay, that's not terrible.
When I finished watching this movie, no lie, it was an 8.3. As soon as I finished watching the movie, I'm like, I love this movie. And then, we've thought about it today, and I was even, after 10 minutes of talking about it with Garen after I watched it, I'm like, no, because this movie isn't better than Thor 1. I need to be honest. I almost had it right in between those two movies. Because I think I have Captain America at a 7.9 and Thor at 8.1. I almost had this at an 8. And then I really started thinking, I'm like, no, this movie has problems that Captain America doesn't have. Captain America's villain's much better than this movie. And I was like, alright, I might be bored by most of the second act in Captain America, but the third act is exciting. Red Skull is menacing throughout the whole thing. Let me chill out. And that's how I've ended up at 7.6.
I think 7.6 is solid compared to what everything else is at. Honestly, we kind of ended up at the same philosophy. I give it a 7.2. Yeah. If you compare our scores to Iron Man 2, you gave Iron Man 2 a 6.5, I gave it a 6.2. We both pretty much went, it's an entire point better than the movie before it. And I think, and you know what? I think that's respectable. 7.6, 7.2. It's a respectable score.
And the more I look back and the more I think about it, I think I was maybe a little too nice to Iron Man 2. I think at least I am. I think I may have been a little bit too nice. I would be down to even put that lower, but
that movie upset me.
Yeah, that movie is not great.
Speaking of movies that upset me with how bad it was.
Really?
Like,
what's bad?
I don't know what fucking happens in it. Here's something that happens in this movie, and I'm not going to go as hard of a rant as you probably think I'm going to, or as they probably think I'm going to. There's a point in this movie where we are fighting dark elves, and I'm sitting there, and Hannah's just like, this has been okay. This isn't bad. Like, I think this is, like, we're wrapping up. It's good. And I look at Hannah, and I just go, there's more movie after this. This isn't the end of the movie. And she was like, oh. Because you know what? I think if it ends when they go to the Dark World and they do the Loki fake out, I think if that movie ends, I don't think it's as bad as it ends up being. Because the only thing that I can think about from that last act that I think is remotely fun is the weird warping that they do that doesn't really make sense. And the joke
Not supposed to.
And the joke with where Mjolnir doesn't know where to go. That's also kind of funny. I actually really like that. But, like, I don't know. Malekith upsets me.
Malekith doesn't upset me because he was nothing before the movie and he's nothing at the end of the movie. It's a bad villain. Like, it's
Yeah.
But, like, he'll speak in Elvish, and then he'll say something in English right after Elvish. It's like, make a decision. If you want him to only speak Elvish, then you're going to have to commit to subtitles at the bottom of the movie. If not, he speaks English the whole time, and we can suspend our belief. Because the only people that will get upset that he doesn't speak Elvish are super comic nerds and people who love to, like, pick apart these nitpick movies. That doesn't bother me. He can speak English. The Asgardians are speaking English.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to convince me that Asgardians just always have... They just speak English. Aliens are speaking English. The ones that don't just talk in noises. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like this doesn't matter to me. This shouldn't matter.
Malekith speaks English in the comics. Malekith is
that's
completely different in the comics.
Yeah, and I know he's cool in the comics. I'm like, just let him speak it. Why are we doing this Elvish shit?
I actually forgot about the Elvish shit.
Yeah,
it actually pissed me off as well.
Yeah, like, that bothered me a lot. But then, like, after that, like, Malekith just is around. His bodyguard is more cool than he is.
Yeah, well, what's his name? He has a name.
Yeah, I'm sure he does.
I remember seeing the name on there, and I was like, oh, Curse. That's his name.
Curse,
I was like, that's supposed to be an actual character. That's fine.
Yeah.
It's just fine. Much like just about every Thor movie, and pretty much everything with Thor and Loki in it. Thor and Loki have good chemistry, and the stuff that they do is pretty solid. I really like the Escape Asgard. That's really fun.
Yep.
And I like that we get little glimmers of Odin being a right old bastard.
Yeah.
Because he's like that for the comics for a long time. And it's really entertaining when he gets like that, because it makes everything else around him really fun. Yeah. That's all I got. What else happens in this movie?
I just think it's fun.
I watched this movie a couple days ago, and I don't remember what happened.
I just think it's good. Like the beginning the beginning of the movie of her finding the kids and finding the temporal disturbances and shit. Fine, sci-fi, whatever. The ether getting shoved into the movie, fine, whatever.
This is the one where none of the humans do anything for me.
Yeah, I don't think Natalie Portman's very great. I think this is where I remember Darcy being as insufferable as she is.
Yeah.
And it's even worse that they add character that literally means nothing, that hasn't been in another movie, that is supposed to be comic relief, in Ian the Intern. Cannot stand. Like, just, why are you here? You're not funny. I don't care for the decision of making Selvig crazy, even though I understand why he is.
Yeah.
But he also doesn't seem that crazy at the end of Avengers. But maybe just the after effects of being under control of the Mind Stone or whatever, fine. I don't like it because it almost feels like poop and fart humor. Him in his underwear all the time. It's like, okay, I don't need this. One interaction I actually loved was when Selvig and Thor meet up again. It's like, sorry about, or whatever, he says something about Loki. He's like, I hope Loki won't be joining us. He's like, no, Loki died. He's like, thank God! Oh, I'm very sorry. Sorry for your loss.
That also comes right after the ever iconic scene of... Because this is when they finally get back to Earth, and they go into the apartment, and Thor walks in, he just looks around, and he hangs Mjolnir up on the rack.
Peak.
God bless Chris Hemsworth for not giving up at any point during this franchise when everyone was panning his shit, because...
Yeah. It's good. I like...
He's good.
Everything on Asgard is good.
It's fine.
It's not fine. I vehemently disagree.
I like that.
There's no way that this is the Asgard stuff here is better than any of the Asgard stuff we get in the first movie. All the whole fight on Asgard is better than the fight with the Frost Giants. I can actually see everything, and I understand it's because that's on Jotunheim and this is in Asgard. But I can see everything. The fights are cool. Like even if the fights aren't between Thor and somebody, just. We got more action, and it was fun. The one thing I wish we would have got was I wish I could have seen Odin do something. If I'm missing anything, I wish Odin would have fought. I wish I could have seen him get busy.
What happens in that taking out the fight with Malekith and Freya, which is actually a very good one-on-one fight. Thor throws a hammer at some. We
get the prison riot. We get those guys doing that stuff. We get I get Heimdall running off of the Bifrost, not being able to see this thing and absolutely stabbing it and bringing down an entire ship.
Okay, that's also cool. Nice. That's also pretty cool.
All of the ships flying around trying to get to Asgard is cool.
And then the bigger ship gets in and steamrolls an army. They
don't really steamroll an army.
They kind of do. They just throw
Once they throw the grenades, it starts getting crazy. No.
And like the first time you see the black hole grenade, it is pretty much like, oh shit.
They are really looking at the ship, and then the ship shoots them, and then the guys come out, and they start winning. Then we actively see Asgardians start to get close, and then they throw the temporal whatever grenades, and then it kind of becomes a dog walk, but then Malekith also walks out and starts ripping dudes too. Also, it's very weird. It's also funny that the only ship that made it through happened to be Malekith's ship, but whatever. I'll movie magic, you know.
Well, I'll give that a pass because Curse takes down the shield, so really any of the ships can get through at that point. But I will just give Malekith the benefit of the doubt. In that case, I don't give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, many other cases,
but I'll give it to him in here. His fight with Freya is cool. I do like his and R.I.P. Freya. I do like that.
You keep calling her Freya, it's Frigga.
It is Frigga. You're right. Why do I think it's Freya?
I don't know.
This is a common thing. I don't think this is just me, but you're right.
Yeah,
it is Frigga. Yeah. You are correct.
I was like, did I miss something? And then what you say? I'm like, no, okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
But it's a good fight. I like Frigga.
I like Frigga doing the Loki thing with the fake Jane Foster.
R.I.P. Frigga.
Yeah, I think the worst thing that this movie did was make Jane Foster not care about science anymore and just be love-struck, scolded girlfriend, or scorned girlfriend, which is definitely a bad decision. But all the human characters just got worse, so and that's fair. But I loved all of the Asgard stuff more.
I like that. I'll and this is more kind of before and a little bit after, I like that the Warriors 3 get to actually do something. That's cool.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like part with the prison fight, and then them doing treason, and them fighting their stuff. I love a big guy with 12 dudes around him. He's like, "Come on, let's go!" And then he's fighting, and then they overpower him, and I'm like, "Okay, I like that. That's just a me thing, I think."
But like,
and then the Dark World fight
is fun.
Curse beating the fuck out. Watching Thor actually lose is. I like that. I like because Thor gets in that realm sometimes with me with Superman, where I'm like, man, Thor never really I never really think Thor's losing. Like I'm always like, okay, Thor's gonna figure this out, and Curse like beats the brakes off of him for a significant amount of time. Twice he just knocks Mjolnir away. I'm like, that's kind of cool. I know Curse's strength isn't really earned. He just has that rock in him. He crushes it and then he explodes. Yeah. But sometimes you just need a Doomsday. Like I'm fine with just giving me a Doomsday type character, and he's beating the brakes off of him. And if you don't know about and if you watch the movie without knowing the Loki twist, when Loki dies and starts to turn blue, I'm like, fuck. Because I especially, and I think this movie hits with me when you can see the development in Thor when he walks up to Loki's cell to break him out to get him on the team, and Loki's like talking shit to him, and he's like, enough with the tricks, and then he puts down the field, and Loki is messed up that his mom's dead, and you can tell that he had because he knows he did it.
Yeah,
I like that. And then that makes me... Because even in Avengers, I'm not completely convinced, Loki is utter evil.
Yeah, I mean, Avengers is the only movie where he's presented in the utter evil way.
And I'm like, I'm always believing, he can come back, and that's the reason why Loki has always come back, and why he ended up having a TV show later on. When he stabs... Which is
a different Loki, but also it's the
same Loki, yeah. When he stabs Curse, I'm like, hell yeah. Let's go kill Malekith. And then Curse is kind of like, fine. I'm like, what? And now, oh my god. And he grabs him and stabs him through himself. I'm like, no. And then Loki's dying. And then obviously they kill him because he set off the grenade on him, which I think those grenades are really cool. I really like those grenades. And then he's dying and slowly turning blue like a frost. I'm like, shut the fuck up. There's no way.
I tried to sell it here. I really tried to sell it. No one bought that. No one.
I loved it.
I tried very hard because I knew that obviously that's bullshit. That he's not dead. But I said R.I.P. Loki again, but R.I.P. Loki, and then before his death scene even finished, he just went, so how long does it take till he comes back? Just completely.
Yeah, but again, that's us knowing.
She hasn't watched these movies.
Everybody knows that Loki lives.
Loki dies at least 3 times.
Yeah.
But
yeah, and I love it. I loved it.
And here's something else.
I also don't, and I guess I don't care for. I wish the Loki reveal that he wasn't dead was just a post-credit scene, and not shown to us. Kind of almost it's shown to us before the final fight.
Is that before the final fight?
Yes, because it shows us very obvious the little Loki tinge that when he changes on the soldier. I'm like, oh, okay, so Loki's alive.
Because I thought you meant the end of the movie. The thing that we all know.
And it's still not a post-credit scene. It's still in the movie. It's the final scene of the movie.
I don't mind that being the final scene of the movie.
And that's fine. And I agree with you if that was just it.
Yes.
If they didn't show me the soldier thing 30 minutes before.
I was going to say yes. A ding against this movie is when I watched it the first time, I must have just not been paying attention because I wasn't having a good time. And I didn't notice that they definitely showed that he's alive and he takes over the soldier for the most part. And when we watched it, that happened. I was like, oh, that isn't it's a twist at the end of the movie, but that isn't a massive twist.
Yeah, no.
They kind of reveal that he's not dead in the middle. Why would they do that?
Yeah.
I thought the reveal worked really well at the end when you still think he's dead.
It also makes Ragnarok make even less sense. Because there's no way that was the plan from Thor 2, that we just sent Odin away to Earth. You understand what I'm saying? And maybe I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong here. It definitely feels like something more sinister. Loki did something way more sinister than Odin at the end of Thor 2, as to why he's on the throne and Odin isn't, than the reason we're given in Ragnarok.
So, I can tell you what happened on both the story and the production part of it. And this has to do more with Ragnarok. That's a scene that was cut and changed. He was supposed to essentially have Brain kill him. Not kill him, but Brain mess up.
Yeah.
And he was supposed to be in either an old folks' home, or the old folks' home got destroyed and he was supposed to be a street urchin, and we were supposed to still see Odin in that state. And then they changed it to Odin got his brain back and made it to Norway off screen. Which can be a little ding against that movie, but I think it's fine in the end.
No, I agree. I think it's fine, but it just... knowing... Just remembering that, I'm like, yeah, that makes... That's like one... It's just a thing against that movie. It doesn't really mean that much, but it's like, that doesn't make any sense. It's also, we went from whoever was making the Thor movies to Taika Waititi.
And Taika Waititi makes one good movie, and then... Let's move on.
Yep.
It's not the worst Thor movie. I don't think Thor: The Dark World is the worst Thor movie.
No, it's not.
I just still don't think it's good. It did not move me.
Yeah,
it's
not the worst movie in the MCU.
Well, I mean, if it's not the worst Thor movie, then it's not the worst movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I can think of 2 movies that I'll definitely rate worse.
I already have 2 movies that I've rated worse.
You might. That's crazy.
I don't think it is.
That's pretty absurd.
There's no way.
What are my ratings? Maybe 1 if I decide to move that.
No, I think you're being crazy.
I think you're being crazy.
No.
Yeah, like I could agree on that, but I don't. I would assume. Oh, you have both. Okay, well, actually, looking at your ratings, that makes sense. No, this movie just doesn't move me. Thor: The Dark World just doesn't move me. I don't. Outside of Thor and Loki, I don't think I enjoy wholesale any of the characters outside of Thor and Loki. Frigga and Odin have a couple of moments where I really like them, and the only thing Malekith gets that I like is when they give him the half-scarred face, because Thor just absolutely obliterates him. But the rest of that character is so bad, I don't actually enjoy that.
Is the character bad or is the character nothing? Because I would much rather a character be nothing than bad. Because I think Mickey Rourke, I think Whiplash is bad.
I think if you're the main villain, nothing is bad. I get what you mean by like a character is nothing, but like a character being nothing and that's like the intern. That's a nothing character. Because he doesn't affect the plot, he doesn't do anything. Like the problem is that Malekith is a big part of the plot. Him being nothing is him being a bad character. Because he needs to be something.
Okay, then Whiplash is just nothing and bad. Because Hammer does all the moving of the plot in that movie.
And I don't disagree with that either. Iron Man 2 is not a good movie.
Yeah.
So, Thor: The Dark World. I'm changing my rating a little bit. I had it at a 5.6. I can put it.
That's crazy.
I'll put it at a 6.
What did you have Hulk at?
5.6.
And what did you have Iron Man 2 at?
6.2.
That's fucking crazy. I cannot believe you think Iron Man 2 is better than this.
It's like about the same.
Oh, no.
I think I enjoy more characters in Iron Man 2 than I do in Thor: The Dark World.
I have this at a 7.2.
A 7.2?
Yes, I think it's better than...
That's absurd.
I think it's better than Hulk, and I think it's better than Iron Man 2.
Above a 7 is crazy.
I think that it does a lot of... I think the action in this movie is very, very good. I'm very much into all the action scenes in the movie. Malekith, like we said, is nothing and bad, which keeps it from being higher than I have it, but I think Curse is cool. I think all the Loki stuff is good. I like the emotional scenes with Loki. I think Frigga's very good. I think the relationship between Thor and Odin, I think, is particularly good with alright, not that, like, I'm ready to retire, but, like, how long are you going to keep messing around with Midrealm and do your job and come be king? like you're supposed to be. I like that dynamic. I like Thor in this movie the entire time. Like we said, Chris Hemsworth never stops trying. The human characters are bad. The human characters are worse than they were in the first film.
Definitely.
By varying degrees. I think Darcy also isn't that great in Iron Man 1, and Thor 1. And now she's just bad. The intern is a wash because he's not in the first one, but he's also just annoying. Natalie Portman actually is funny in this. Like when she's on the table and they're like, it's a magic scope or whatever it is, and she's like, what a magic scope. Like that I think that's funny. I think she is funnier in this movie. But like I also said, they turned her from super scientist to scorned ex-girlfriend, which I don't love. I also will say that all the love in this movie between them feels very forced. Like, the kiss on Asgard kind of just happens. I'm like, why? Well, okay. Well, I guess they never really broke up, like, I guess. But it's... all of its action's better than anything in Iron Man 2. Most of the characters are better. Like, Iron Man 2 is held up on RDJ and Don Cheadle.
And this movie's held up on Chris Hemsworth and Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah.
They're very similar, is just what it ends up to.
But the action is infinitely better. Yes. Iron Man 2 has no action. It has the final scene. We at least get action throughout the movie, and the action's good. The fights are good. The fights between the two factions are good. We even open with the scene in the past, and that action's fun. Like, we just have good the ships invading Asgard is a cool scene.
Is that opening scene not just almost the exact same as the opening from the first movie? I understand the story is different and the factions are different, but it's the same, the Asgardians are fighting a war, and now their supreme leader comes down and turns the tide, and now the Asgardians win.
I guess there is that opening scene in Thor 1. Okay, it's still... wasn't a negative in the first one. It's not bad in this one.
Doing the same thing again can be.
It can be, but it wasn't.
Also, like, you've gone the entire time, and the only thing you've mentioned about the main plot device is that it was there.
Yes, the ether. The ether it ends up being an Infinity Stone. And it's killing Jane Foster. Like, it's not... I'm not... The story in this is not good. I am hanging... The thing that I'm hanging this movie up on is that I think the action's very good. In Iron Man 2, none of that is applicable. The story is bad, and the action is bad. The positives for Iron Man 2 were Don Cheadle and Robert Downey Jr. I think this movie's action and Tom Hiddleston and Chris Hemsworth are good. It just has to be better than Iron Man 2 for me. I don't see how it's not better.
They just end up kind of equated for me. I think I get just.
And Whiplash is worse than Malekith. As bad as Malekith is, Whiplash is even worse.
I can give you that. I think I can give you that.
Yeah, and given that movie has Justin Hammer, and I understand, and I think it's the exact opposite. You really like Justin Hammer. I don't. I think he's kind of funny at some points, but he also doesn't move me. I think Curse is actually really cool, and it seems like Curse does not move you at all.
You also have Sam Jackson in Iron Man 2.
For 2 scenes, I'm not moved. He's cool and fun. And, okay, then if you want to equate Sam Jackson, I would say Frigga and Odin. Both do a good enough, and they're in the movie more.
And then
and Heimdall. I also have Heimdall, who's cool and good throughout the entire movie.
I don't know what Heimdall does in this movie besides that one ship thing that you talked about.
That
is pretty cool.
Really
like him running and him taking that is pretty cool. But like I don't know what else he does in that movie.
He's part of the Resistance with Thor. Has to sit down with Thor, talk about. He's like, I have no purpose now because I can't even see the enemy that we're fighting, and shit. Like, it just humanizes Heimdall a little bit. But he's also not a main character. He's a side character that gets his own scene that is sick.
And that throwaway line with Odin that is really cool, but nothing ends up happening. Where he says treason, mine, and then nothing happens.
He just pulls a sword out and he's like, take me.
There's like that, because he says this and I went, oh shit, is this going to get good? And then nothing happens.
Yeah, because he literally says, I can't, I'm bound by my oath, I can't attack him. So nothing was going to happen, he was just a distraction. And like you said, the escape scene, the escape scene from Asgard is really cool.
Yeah.
Him just pushing Loki off, throwing Loki in what we thought is the ocean, and he ends up on the raft is cool.
I enjoyed Loki.
Realizing that and Shazam's in this movie. It's a crossover.
Oh yeah, but there's a recast in this movie. There is. Zachary Levi gets to be one of the Warriors 3.
Fenrir. Oh, what is that guy's name?
I don't know their names.
Oh, Heinz? No. Oh my god. I knew this, but I'm not going to remember.
I think it's Fenrir.
Is it Fenrir? God, I didn't think it was Fenrir.
I will look it up.
I thought... Falstag.
Well, Volstagg is the big one.
That is the big one. What is it?
Fandral.
Fandral?
Fandral.
Oh, Fandral. Okay.
Yeah. The Warriors 3 are Volstagg, Hogan, and Fandral.
Yeah. I knew it wasn't Hogan, because Hogan's the Asian guy.
Yeah. And Volstagg is the big guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think this movie is just better than Iron Man 2. And I think it does everything Iron Man 2 does better.
It does everything Iron Man 2 does. And then some. I won't say if it's some is better, some is worse. If you take out the plot device and just have Malekith be able to do some of those things, I think it gets some points, but because the Ether is just kind of like
Ether's just kind of there.
But it's the main plot device of the movie.
Okay,
like,
what is the main plot
device?
The
convergence.
What's the main
What's up with
plot?
the fucking convergence this entire fucking movie? That is this big thing and it's going to affect the end of the world.
It's the fact that instead of... He has the power to infect all the worlds at the same time, because everything's connected right there.
I just mean in general in the plot. Like, this is something that's supposed to be really serious and then no one on Asgard is fussed that it's happening.
Because it does just happen.
Things in this movie just happen.
No, like, it's
like
not...
That,
the convergence happening isn't a negative thing. That's why nobody cares. It's the fact that he's going to use this thing that happens to infect the entire universe at the same time. That's why it's bad. It's not that the convergence is a problem. Because it happened...
Selvig literally talked about how it could be the end of the world.
Because he had the Mind Stone in his head that showed him the thing that could happen. I thought that was obvious.
He's talking about magnetic pulses and how he's got to plant these things in the ground to stabilize. There's a lot of science mumbo-jumbo in this movie as well.
And that's bad.
Yes.
And drones are bad also. The plot device in Iron Man 2 is what?
It's at least something that is established and works with what's already been set up. This movie, we introduce things to say that they're...
Yes, we introduce a magic item.
And then we don't...
That makes less sense than anything in Iron Man 2, because Iron Man 2 is based in reality.
I'm not even mad at the Ether. At least we come back to that, and it ties in with the Infinity Stone stuff. We don't come back to the Convergence. We don't... There is nothing even close to what they could have set up. We don't worry about the
once every... They said like even before... The last one was before Heimdall's watch.
We don't worry about the 9 realms anymore. Like, there's like literally nothing.
What do you mean? The movie starts with us defending the 9 realms.
I'm talking like coming at the end of the movie. This movie, everything that happens that they set up is set up for the movie, doesn't continue afterwards, and doesn't make sense in the end.
I don't understand why. How does it not make sense?
I just fucking told you.
I don't understand why the
Convergence is mumbo jumbo that is supposedly going to end the world and then doesn't.
No,
they tell us. The movie tells us that it's
the movie doesn't. Selvig says that it's going to end the world. Odin never says the Convergence is going to end the world. That never happens from anybody on Asgard. Selvig, the crazy guy who had the Infinity Stone in his head, said that.
Who's also not crazy, apparently, because the movie pretty much shows him that he was on the meds, and then the meds made him crazy. That was the point of him then...
Yeah, that didn't make any sense to me, but yeah.
Oh, wow. The movie doesn't make sense.
Well, yeah, I never said the movie made sense. But the point that you're sticking on the Convergence being this big thing, I'm like... I
gave it a 7.2.
Yes, I give it a 7.2. It is barely over an average movie.
You kind of expect an average movie to make sense.
Okay. Okay, what doesn't make sense?
You just said it doesn't make sense.
Yes, because it is... I meant in the sense of, like, it's magic and Asgard and stuff like that is not going to make sense. Because it's magic and they can do whatever it wants.
They did that in Thor 1 and it was fine. They do it in Doctor Strange and it's fine.
It's fine. And
if you establish
I am in the realm of, in this movie, it's fine. You're not.
If you establish rules and you follow them, it's fine.
Okay, what rule do they not follow?
That the convergence is going to affect Earth in a negative way. Not outside of Malekith, just in general.
It messes with it messes with the gravity and the physics and all that other stuff, and we get to see it.
Why does this only happen connected to Earth? Because even at the end of the movie, when he's doing the fight with Malekith, when they're going through the portals, they leave Earth, come back to Earth, leave Earth, come back to Earth, leave Earth, come back to Earth. They never talk about...
Because it's the middle of the universe?
It's not, though.
That's
Asgard.
Some reason I guess the life tree is the beginning, is the middle of the universe. Isn't that the whole Stonehenge and that whole scene where it points everything to the thing?
I don't know. The only thing they do at Stonehenge is he runs around without his pants.
No, but I mean on the map.
I don't disagree if you take out the convergence, which I don't know of the convergence ever being a thing in Marvel Comics or in Norse mythology anyway.
Yeah, am I wrong? Isn't the convergence where the planets come together?
In DC, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that is DC.
Yeah, that's a DC Crisis event. Yeah.
What do they call it when... Oh, that's incursions, right?
Yeah, when the two
planets are coming together.
And that's not even the planets, that's the universes.
Universes, that's what I meant, yeah.
If you take out the convergence, and you take out the ether, and you just figure out another plot device way for Malekith,
yeah.
Probably does end up being better than Iron Man 3. I think there's too much core plot nonsense going on here that just doesn't work or jumps between, or all this stuff needs to happen in order for this big defying thing to go. And not just Malekith has awoken and he's gonna kill everyone because Malekith is just a cool character. I know he's not a cool character in this movie, but Malekith
in the comics is a cool character.
And you know what? Now I'm gonna get into my personal vendetta against this movie. Malekith is so fucking cool. But they don't want to do this because Malekith is kind of just Dark Loki. But Loki hasn't gone good yet in these movies. But, Malekith is a sorcerer who's going to talk circles around you. And, the big plot thing that he does is he causes all the realms to go to war by manipulating everyone and making it happen. Not just walking an army up to Asgard's door. Which I would argue is just a retread, because that's just kind of what the Frost Giants do in the first movie again. I understand it's a little different because Loki is more on the thing, and that's why they don't just want to do Malekith in someone's ear. But... And again, I actually don't think... I think that point that I just gave doesn't say that it's better than Iron Man 2. I think it just shows that they're very much kind of the same movie, because Iron Man 2 is very much a retread of Iron Man 1. But it's just... Honestly, if it makes you feel better, and you cannot allow this if you don't want to... Oh, what'd I say to this movie?
You said a 5.2 or something.
I didn't say a 5.2 because I had it originally down as a 5.6. I think
maybe you did say.
I think I put it back at a 6. I'll retcon Iron Man 2 to being a 6 because I think those two sit just right at the same thing.
I'm fine with it. I just think having Iron Man 2 over this, I think is nuts. I just think it's objectively
They occupy that same tier.
And I've got a 0.5 point between the two. Or 0.7, because I think I have this, 7.2? I have that at a 6.5. And I think it's... I think that's fine.
Originally I had a 5.6. That was my initial put down.
Yeah, I just like more of the things in this movie. And I'm more down to just be fine with other things. The Malekith stuff doesn't bother me that much. He's just nothing, like I said. I think Whiplash is bad and nothing. And again, Hammer doesn't move me in that movie. It does for most people.
If Malekith isn't the main villain, then I think that's okay. Then I get what you're saying, but he's the main. I know, but
and then I would argue Whiplash is the main villain in that movie and does nothing. Same as Malekith, and he's bad. Not only is he nothing, like a nothing burger, he's also bad.
I also don't think I agree that Whiplash is nothing. I just think he's bad.
What does he do? Nothing. He talks to Justin Hammer for...
He makes a fucking arc reactor.
Yeah.
And he shows up in Rex Tony's
Okay,
shit.
and Malekith invades Asgard and gets the ether. Those are equivalent things. They don't... Neither of those things really matter.
So is Malekith
not really matter. I think he's nothing. I think Mickey Rourke does a bad job, and it is acted poorly by Mickey Rourke. I think part of it, and we talk about this when we talk about Iron Man 2, I think the accent really hurts that movie. But, because I think if he just talks normally, I don't hate it as much. But he is, like, insufferable and, like, maybe this is harsh, almost unintelligible when he talks sometimes, and he's nothing. So I just think he's bad in nothing, and I think Malekith is just nothing. It's not a big gap, but it's a big enough gap.
We have the same issue with Malekith, in that he can't decide between speaking Elvish
and speaking English. I guess that is true. But I also think he just... I just think he's better than Whiplash. I think Whiplash is the worst villain in the MCU. I don't think there's anybody worse than Whiplash.
I don't think Ghost is that great.
She isn't, but I still think she's at least a little more compelling. I at least understand her a little bit more than I do with Whiplash.
Who do we consider the main villain of Black Widow? Taskmaster or the whatever his name is?
I think it's the guy. I don't think
he's good either.
I don't think he is, but he's...
I don't hate that movie.
It's a close race. Like, I'm not going to... I personally am going Whiplash. Because Whiplash's final fight is bad. Really bad. Like, he doesn't do anything. He literally does one thing and then gets blown the fuck up. I think it's really bad. I can at least the tension in the conversation between Black Widow and the guy holds a little bit. It then loses everything when she slams her head on the thing, and I don't really think that makes sense, but I guess it does. And then she gets to hit him.
Here's what I'll say about that. It does make sense. However, it's stupid as hell.
Okay.
It doesn't.
Okay. I didn't know how to say that.
I defend that movie. Like, I like it more than you do. That pheromone shit is stupid as hell, and I hate it. It doesn't. It makes sense. It's just stupid.
Yeah.
It can be stupid. It can make sense and be stupid.
I'm trying to think other villains.
Actually, Thor: The Dark World doesn't make sense. Iron Man 2, it makes sense, but it's stupid. There we go.
You know what? I think edited all that. I think editing all that is fine. I'll take that. What's next week? Are we finally in Winter Soldier?
Yes, we are at Winter Soldier.
Oh,
we got a good
run
run until, like, if we keep going at the rate, I think our next stumble, and this is even a you stumble, not a me stumble, is the end of May. Or, like, Ant-Man's a little bit of a stumble, and then Black Panther's at the end of May. I like both of those movies. And then Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Maybe I'll like Black Panther.
So
I think this is what I have to remember. When I saw these movies, everybody already told me how to feel about them.
I got you.
So when I'm going into Black Panther, I'm like, okay, this is the greatest movie of all time. Because that was the conversation around that movie. This is the greatest superhero movie ever made. Okay, I'm going into it like it's going to be that. Now, I'll tell you this much. The soundtrack is the greatest soundtrack to a superhero movie of all time, which is also incorrect because I enjoy the Spider-Verse ones more now, but they weren't out yet.
Yeah, I think that's correct.
Yeah, I think Spider-Verse 2 is the greatest superhero soundtrack ever, but that's just it's a personal opinion.
Oh, okay.
I think people like 1 more than 2, but I
do like 1 more than 2.
But I also like 2, the movie, more.
It's not bad. It's still a very good
The
movie.
main song for Spider-Verse 1, I don't like. I don't like Sunflower.
You know what's funny? I guess that is the main song that they promote in that movie, but it's not the first song I think of when I
What do you think of?
I think of What's Up, Danger. Because that's what the big climactic scene
Isn't that
has.
Get Out of My Zone, I Gotta Get There on My Own? Is that not that?
No. That one's also good, though.
Yeah, I know. That's the one that I think of that movie. What's Up, Danger?
That's the one where he has with the big climactic scene where he figures out the powers when he has his suit, when it goes through. Don't be a stranger, because I like hard chances that I might lose. I like tall buildings that I can leap off of.
Okay, yeah, I think I know that song. Yeah, I'm not super big on that song either. There's a bunch of, like, Silk and Cologne is in Spider-Verse 2, which I love. The Coi Leray song, I think, is really, really good. I'm not going to remember it. It's my favorite one. I can't remember, and that pisses me off. The main song for Spider-Verse 2. I like every song on it. I have the entire album on my playlist. I like all of them.
What's the main song of Spider-Verse 2? Because here's something that I think, and I might just be wrong because I'm not as familiar with Spider-Verse 2 soundtrack. When I went to listen to it after I had saw the movie, it feels like those songs aren't as in Spider-Man in Spider-Verse 2 as much as Spider-Verse 1 soundtrack is in Spider-Verse 1.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. I kind of get what you're saying. They're definitely more in the background. Like, the song that plays at the party on the top of the roof where he's late and he fucks a cake up, that's a song on the soundtrack.
Okay.
And that I love that song. There's a lot more Spanish in this movie. A lot more on the is Miles Morales Puerto Rican? Is his mom Puerto Rican or Dominican?
I don't know.
Whatever Latino sound, they focus a lot more on that in the second one, and I like that sound.
Which makes sense thematically.
Yeah, so I like that more than the first one, but if somebody were like Spider-Verse 1 is better than Spider-Verse 2, I'm not mad at your opinion. I personally like 2 more, but I can understand my personal opinion isn't the objective opinion.
Yeah. But we're not watching those movies.
Why not?